This is the Remote Work Life Business Spotlight, where I highlight top remote business innovators and share personal and career development tips to help you navigate the world of remote work. I'm your host, Alex Wilson-Campbell. I help remote work managers, professionals and freelancers overcome isolation and uncertainty in their life to get hired and fulfill their career goals. And hello, it's Alex once again from Remote Work Life for another edition of the Remote Work Life Business Spotlight. And today in the Spotlight, I am spotlighting a company called Fire Engine Red. And you can find them at fire-engine-red.com. And I'll be honest with you, every time I do an edition of the Remote Work Life Business Spotlight, I don't necessarily do much research on each business beforehand, because what I want to be able to do is really get a first impression of who they are, what they do, from a very sort of cold start, so to speak. So, I mean, although there are some businesses here that I would have heard of, certain businesses like Fire Engine Red I've not necessarily heard of. And I'm doing this because I know there's lots of people looking for remote roles or opportunities, companies that allow for remote work. And it can be sometimes quite difficult to find businesses that are legitimate, are genuine, are established, all those kinds of things. So I've done a little bit of research, I guess, to enable me to find some of these businesses for you, and it's then down to you to do a bit more digging yourself. So as I said, go to that URL I mentioned, Fire Engine Red. They say they deliver the best client experiences. They were founded in 2001, so that tells you that this is an established business. Fire Engine Red offers strategic enrollment solutions and software to the education market. So that tells you a bit about the niche that they work in. And incidentally, what I'd say is, because of some of the problems I just mentioned in terms of finding legitimate businesses, you should ask yourself certain questions when you're doing your due diligence around not just remote businesses, but any business for that matter. The kinds of questions that you want to ask yourself, and I'll go through each one of them, I don't want to make this too long, but what do they do? And I've just kind of mentioned what Fire Engine Red do. And linked to that, so what products and services, what problems do they solve, what niche do they operate in, and can you find any reviews on what they do? So I mentioned what Fire Engine Red do. They say our services and products are used by more than 300 educational institutions nationwide. Nationwide, I mean, I don't know where they're based, although I do get a feeling this is a US company. So they say student research. Executing a successful student search has never been more complex. Demographics are continuing to shift. The number of test takers has declined and dozens of new list sources have emerged. That's why you need Fire Engine Red. So that's a bit about the problem they solve. So there, straight away from their website, you can see what they do, what problem they solve, when they've been established. Other questions that you need to answer when you're doing your due diligence about certain companies is, why do they do what they do? And those kinds of questions, you can answer those kind of questions by, again, digging deeper. Imagine, put yourself in a position of somebody who's a researcher, somebody who, in fact, if you're working in recruitment, this is the kind of thing you do before you approach a specific client. If you're doing business development, these are the kind of things you need to understand. Or at least these are the depths that you need to go to, the lengths that you need to go to in order to find what you are looking for. So their why, you need to ask yourself, why do they do what they do? And as I said, that can sometimes be found in on their about page. So I'm on Fire Engine Red's about page, and they say, Fire Engine Red offers strategic enrollment management solutions and software to the education market. We're among the first fully remote companies in the US and have operated without a central office since Shelley Spiegel, our CEO and Chief Creative Officer, founded our company back in 2001. So that tells you, again, it goes on to my next question, which is, what's my next question in terms of my due diligence? What do they do? A bit about the founding story. Another one of my questions is, who are the key personnel? And that's answered that straight away. Shelley Spiegel is one of the key personnel within the company. She's been there since 2001, so she's fully invested in this company, or fully vested in the company. And another question I normally ask is let's see, how do they work? So that's around their culture. So that's around things like their, what did I say? How do they work? Their culture and their location. So as I said just now, this is a fully remote company. They talked about, where was it? Founded in 2001, one of the first remote companies, and they've operated without a central office since then. So that tells you where they're located. They don't necessarily have a location, so they're remote first from their mindset, from what they do. Why we've always been fully remote. This is a bit about I was talking to you about before. What's their founding story? What's their story? Why do they do what they do? So from the beginning, Fire Engine Red's goal was to attract, hire and retain highly sought after education professionals with unique experience, skills and credentials. We soon realized that the best way to do this was to create a fully remote workplace, which would enable the businesses to employ top talent no matter where they lived, and it worked. So there you go. That tells you about them, a bit about their founding story. As I said, when you look at Fire Engine Red's website, you want to go across to their about page. They say we attract and retain top talent, and they give some numbers in terms of the types of talent that they attract here. We have a strong, positive culture. Again, as I said to you before, it's important to find out about their why, their culture. Are you aligned with what their culture is? Are you aligned with their values? Because if not, then you might struggle. So they say we are able to retain our team because our strong, positive culture and shared values. These values include diversity, work-life balance, and innovation. So some strong values there. Great client experiences start at Fire Engine Red. So they talk a bit about their client experiences as well. There's lots of information to go on here. And I think that's another good thing to look out for is when you look at a website, if it's sparse, if there's hardly anything there, then that kind of, not the fire engine bells, the alarm bells start to ring. But this particular business, as I said, established in 2001, you'd expect for them to have a lot of information for you to read and absorb. They've got a section here on the leadership team. And if you want to incidentally watch this video that I'm shooting, I'm actually looking at the website as I shoot this video. What you should do is go across to my YouTube channel and you'll see some of the videos that I've uploaded based on what you can hear at the moment. And I'm on their leadership team page now. Talks about some of the key personnel within the business, but that doesn't stop you from going a bit further, going on to somewhere like LinkedIn to find out who actually works there aside from the C-level and the vice presidents and the directors, because you want to know, where do you fit in the scheme of things? What areas, what problems can you solve that they're looking to solve? So a bit about the key personnel, but also the people who work there using LinkedIn. What departments do they recruit into? And I can suss that by looking at their careers page, which is where I'm going now. They say, join us. Who are we? They talk a bit more about who they are. Our company offers strategic enrollment management solutions, as I said before. Where we're located, so they're located across the US. So, I don't know if they hire outside the US, but they say our 60 plus talented team members live and work in 23 states and 3 countries, including Brazil and Canada. So the Americas is a big area, South America as well. Team member retention survey. They've got a retention survey, what we value, their values here. They've got all the values front and center. They all look good: grit, empathy, integrity, wellness, client service. Lots of things that I also gravitate to. So that is really good. They have their diversity here. They talk about their benefits. They include work from anywhere as one of those benefits, but there's lots of things there to look at, for you to look at. What I want to do now is in fact, I was going to look at their open positions, but at the time of shooting this, they don't have any open positions, but that's not to say they won't have any in the future. And that shouldn't stop you from starting your research into something like Fire Engine Red. So have a look at fireenginered.com. That's it for today's episode of the Remote Work Life podcast. Click the link in the show notes below to access a free list of 100 remote businesses that hire regularly. And
If you're feeling stuck or uncertain on issues of career or personal development, head on over to www.remoteworklife.io, where you can watch exclusive on-demand video featuring real-world remote work leaders and future of work experts on key remote work topics, including how to get clarity on your career direction, how to thrive while working remotely, how to network effectively and stay connected, and how to tend to your personal and career development needs. Go to remoteworklife.io now, and remember to connect with me, your host, Alex Wilson Campbell, on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook.